Welcome to the Inquiring Mind of Mr. Hopes. I am your host, Thomas Hopes, or also known as Homes with Hopes. And here on this channel, we'll discuss in depth education, real estate, and relationships. And one of the things that I dropped a little earlier today was on my Instagram and Facebook, but we were talking about what we would like to do as far as valuing renting versus owning a home. And some of the cons that I went over in basically renting a home were things like you can't take advantage of the taxes. You also won't be able to take advantage of the asset growing and appreciating. So therefore, the sale of it when you're prepared for that, or maybe just handing it down to generational wealth. So we would, like to go further into depth with those. And so I found us a article, and you can find this article at incharge.org/housing/homebuyer/education/home ownership/guide/advantages hyphen and hyphen disadvantages hyphen of owning hyphen a hyphen home slash. Now, I won't be repeating it, but what I will do is I'll put it down in the description. That way, any information that I drop that I don't own the rights to, I can always connect you back to the source that I got it from. And so some of these disadvantages of owning a home, I'll just start upfront. High upfront costs. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm a penny pincher. I like to save money. I'll drive a car till the wheels fall off. I will cook lunch, breakfast, or dinner before I even decide to eat out. If you do catch me eating out, it's probably because I'm either starving or with friends or family just socializing. Saving money is a large proponent to having money and home ownership, but investing your money in the right places is an even bigger and important goal. And why invest your money is an even bigger or important goal is investing your money puts it in a certain place that makes you money back. Saving your money puts your money in a place where it grows stagnant. Therefore, it's not appreciating. And so home ownership is a huge difference over time. Usually when you buy right within the first 5 years, it's a huge difference over time in what you paid up front for the down payment and what you pay monthly for the mortgage compared to renting a home. So some of these high upfront costs, closing costs on a mortgage can run from 2 to 5% of the purchase price, So, including numerous fees, property taxes, mortgage insurance, home inspection, first-year homeowner's insurance premium, title search, title insurance, and points. And these are all things that we'll go over eventually and over time. I'll be dropping this information in detail for you. Just bear with me. And all these items which are prepaid interest on the mortgage. So basically you have to come out of pocket for it before you can own the home. Now, it can take about 5 years to recover these costs, which, that can vary per state that you're in. But here in Austin, that sounds highly relevant. So, let's go to another one of these disadvantages of owning a home. We got less mobility. If one of the advantages of home ownership is stability, that means it will be more difficult to accept an attractive job offer requiring you to pick up and move to another city. So, I always tell people, plan why you want to buy a home. You know, don't just want a home to want it, because everyone wants a home and wants home ownership and the benefits of it and the advantages of it. But are you willing to accept the risk, the requirement, and duties that come with home ownership? Now, one of the reasons this is a disadvantage on this side is because when you're renting, you can just pick up and go every 12 months, every 24 months, usually or typically, and sometimes month to month or 6 months. So for those who want that flexibility and that availability to be able to just pick up, get up and go, that would benefit you to actually rent if you not necessarily have commitment issues. Because like it says, that's in the example, you might want to just move because you just accepted a job offer, you're looking forward to a job offer, or you're not looking forward to staying in the city. I have friends that they've moved here and they know that they only want to be here 2 or 3 years. So not researching the market and just buying a house could put them in a tight position or a tight spot. And at the end of the day, as a realtor, I never want to put you in a tight position or a tight spot. What I'm here to help you do is to put your budget in a tight position and maximize your profits in an exemplary spot. That way, you can do the type of traveling, cover your bills, cover your retirement, and, of course, do some day-to-day living. But that all comes with meticulous planning. So that's why this is the important one. Less mobility in renting because you can just get up and go. Let's move along to the next one. Maintenance cost. Now, maintenance is one that most people don't even think twice of when they're buying a home, when they're brand new homeowners. People with experience, they know. They know when those water heaters go out. They know when HVAC goes out. They know when a roof gets a leak in it. That all of those are out of pocket for the homeowner. So this one in particular, maintenance cost is going to be a disadvantage for owning a home and one of the benefits for renting a home. There's no property supervisor to take care of plumbing problems. And if the air conditioner goes out, you're not only going to sweat until it's fixed, but you'll be writing a check to get the cool air flowing again. The same is true of the landscape. And so basically what that just means is, hey, when you're renting, it's the owner's responsibility. Just like when staying in apartments. It's property management and owner's responsibility to maintain the common areas. It's their responsibility to maintain the taxes. It's their responsibility to maintain plumbing, HVAC messing up, all those things that make a home livable. So keep that in mind. And I would say, CYA, cover your own ass, speak with your advisor, But plumbing, that can be expensive. I'm not too much aware of those prices, but I'll tell you like this. HVAC can cost you easily $10,000 to $15,000. Water heater, easily $5,000 to $10,000, depending on how fancy you want to get. And so those can be prices and expenses that you haven't quite measured if you haven't saved for an emergency, if you have bought at the top of your budget. Those can all be risky things if you're ever put in a tight spot. And so that's why maintenance cost is a disadvantage to owning a home. And for renting a home, it's a bonus. Because when you can just pick up and go, you don't have to cover the taxes. You don't have to cover the maintenance. These all tend to be things that fit your lifestyle at that time. And no high upfront cost all adds up to that, which is like the down payment and closing costs. And I really appreciate y'all for y'all time. This is a podcast brought to you and sponsored by Tree Homes. And if you are looking for any type of investment needs, looking to become a new agent, you give me a call. Thomas Hopes, or Tree Homes, and we'll be here to help you make that transition into the industry. We can discuss and consult what we can do to benefit you and help you grow. Once again, sponsored and brought to you by Tree Homes, and this is Mr. Hopes. So let's get back to it. So, equity doesn't grow immediately. Now, those of you know what equity is basically the difference in what you own a home and what the home is valued at. Now, most of the payments go toward interest in the early years of a mortgage. So you don't gain equity quickly unless property values in your area skyrocket. Now, again, if you're looking to pick up and go in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you may not see the appreciation and the value that comes in a home and home ownership if you haven't researched and bought your home at a good price. See, one of the rules in real estate investing is you make your money on the buy, which simply means you've already thought of your exit strategy and multiple exit strategies in case the first one doesn't work, to always come out on top of what you would be considering a loss. And so equity is a huge thing for homeowners and the benefits of home ownership, because as you know, over time, when a home appreciates and you're paying bills on time, you get to literally see your home become your personal savings account. And not only savings account, but it could be your personal investment account if you ever wanted to keep that home and rent it out. And if you ever wanted to use part of the equity gained in the home, which is simply money gained in the home, to invest in another home that virtually you didn't pay for out of pocket, but your investment in your home did. So keep that in mind, Now, let's take a look at property values. Now, property values can fall. And again, this is a huge disadvantage. If you buy a home and you're looking to get up and move and this property values have dropped, you might put yourself in a position where you did a negative buy. And that's probably not even the best terminology for it, but you basically would owe money on your home. So you have to do something what we call maybe foreclose on it, do a short sale, where basically you paid more for the home than what it's worth. And things like that happen, especially when you don't CYA and do your own due diligence and purchase your home with basically investment standards, making your money on the buy. And so, during the 2008 nationwide housing crisis, and more local conditions can cause this too. Your building will depreciate over time, especially if you don't maintain it. And see, we all were a witness of that when that happened back in 2008. And we seen it take a little while to recover. So right now we have this experience of this coronavirus. On top of the coronavirus, we have businesses requiring you to stay home, limit staff. Unemployment is happening at an alarming rate. And you're starting to see the results of this happen and echo all over the country. And it's reminiscent of 2008, but it's not necessarily identical or similar to 2008. That was literally a housing crisis, and we don't even want to get into amount of scams and high interest rate loans that were done during this time. And let's see, right now, this is not a housing crisis in 2020. This is a health crisis. This is a economic collapse in many different ways, which can be connected to housing, but not directly. And I said economic collapse in many ways is because when people can't afford to pay rent, when people can't afford to pay for their homes. You have always those elite people who can. Those elite people who can afford to pick up 2 or 3 homes, 2 or 3 properties, 4 or 5 properties, 100 or 200 doors. And they will become your new landlords. And they will become the new people that you become tenants to when you once were able to survive and thrive in America. But that's another topic. That is for those who are buying homes and they bought a home and they didn't do their due diligence, so they didn't make money on the buy. Because if they did, they'd be prepared for this panic and pandemic. That's another topic. Anyway, let's get into liquidity. Although houses have value, they typically don't sell as quickly as stocks or other assets. While you're trying to sell your home, you should still have to keep making mortgage payments and maintain it. And that's simply put, basically, you want to have in place what you're going to do, your exit strategy. That way, when you're ready to sell your home, it's what it's worth. You are ready to sell your home. You already know what you're going to buy. And that way you can have a pure streamlined transition to get the liquidity out of your home and taking full advantage of that. Now, these are just some things that were disadvantages in home ownership and advantages for renting. Because remember, everybody's living situation is perceptional to what they're experiencing. And what someone is experiencing may not necessarily be what you're experiencing. Therefore, what someone else needs may not be what you need. And what someone else wants can highly affect or influence what they'd like to get. And so if someone would like to get up and have the ability to move around frequently as they can, then we allow them the ability to do that as renters and landlords. And that's how that relationship continues to flourish. And we make the exchange by covering things like the taxes, landscaping, the big ticket items that are required for livability that we discuss, like your HVAC, your roof, water heater, things of that nature. And so remember, I'm not for or against renting. I'm just for home ownership and in the right way. Now, remember to make your list whenever you're renting, because your list is going to be the thing that directs you and helps me make a path for us. Because see, the better I understand you and the direction you're going, the more that I could help you manifest exactly what you need. All right. We appreciate you for being here. This is an episode by the Inquiring Mind of Mr. Hopes. Thank you. We'll talk again.